5 years without a single illness. No colds, no flu, no infections. The average family loses 15 to 20 days per year to sickness, costing $400 in medications and lost wages. You're spending money and time fighting symptoms after the pathogens win. But here's the reality. Your immune system doesn't need crisis intervention. It needs daily support from compounds that reduce inflammation, kill bacteria and viruses on contact, and prevent the cascade that turns exposure into full illness. 13 herbs growing in 25 square feet provide those compounds fresh, potent, and free after the initial $50 investment. This is the system that keeps me healthy. Here's why you keep getting sick, despite spending hundreds on remedies every year. Your immune system doesn't fail because it's weak. It fails because you're treating it like an emergency response team instead of a prevention system. You wait until the pathogens multiply, the inflammation cascades, and the symptoms hit. Then you throw chemicals at an established infection and hope your body can fight back. That's reactive medicine. Think about it. When you feel the first scratch in your throat, the virus has already been replicating for 24 to 48 hours. By the time you reach for the zinc lozenges, you're playing catch-up against millions of viral particles. The inflammation, the mucus production, the fever, that's your body fighting a war it should have prevented. Meanwhile, if your immune system had been getting daily microdoses of antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory compounds from fresh plants, those viral particles would have encountered hostile terrain the moment they entered your respiratory tract. They wouldn't have established a foothold. You wouldn't have gotten sick. But here's the reality most people miss. Your immune system needs support every single day, not just when you're already losing the battle. It needs compounds that reduce baseline inflammation so your cells can respond faster to threats. It needs antimicrobial substances that kill bacteria and viruses on contact before they replicate. It needs immune-modulating phytochemicals that keep your white blood cells primed and ready. Those compounds exist in plants, not in expensive supplements that sit on shelves losing potency. In fresh plants growing in soil, harvested minutes before you use them, delivering the full spectrum of medicinal compounds at peak concentration. This is where conventional gardening and conventional medicine both fail you. Conventional medicine tells you to wait until you're sick, then treat symptoms. Conventional gardening tells you to grow tomatoes and lettuce, but ignores the medicinal plants that indigenous cultures relied on for thousands of years. The economic absurdity is staggering. You're buying dried oregano at the grocery store for $8 per ounce, when a single oregano plant costs $3, grows for years, and produces pounds of fresh leaves that contain carvacrol and thymol, compounds that kill bacteria more effectively than many antibiotics. You're buying echinacea supplements for $20 a bottle, when an echinacea plant costs $5 and delivers immune-boosting alkylamides that research shows reduce cold duration by 58%. Here's the system that works. 13 specific herbs selected for immune coverage. Not random plants. 13 that together provide antibacterial action against common respiratory and digestive pathogens. Antiviral compounds effective against influenza and rhinoviruses. Anti-inflammatory phytochemicals that calm your immune response, and immune-boosting substances that keep your white blood cells vigilant. These 13 herbs grow in polyculture, which means they protect each other. Oregano and thyme deter aphids. Echinacea attracts beneficial insects. Garlic's sulfur compounds repel fungal diseases. You're not fighting your garden. You're designing a system where the plants do the pest management while producing the compounds that keep you from getting sick. The difference between this approach and buying supplements is the difference between fire prevention and firefighting. You can spend thousands on fire trucks and still lose the building, or you can design a structure that doesn't catch fire. Your immune system works the same way. Daily exposure to fresh plant compounds means you never fight the infection because the infection never happens. That's 5 years of not being sick while everyone around me cycles through colds, flu, and sinus infections. The system works because it's based on observation of what plants actually do and what your immune system actually needs. Herb 1 is oregano. Oregano contains carvacrol and thymol, 2 phenolic compounds that kill bacteria on contact, including Staphylococcus aureus E. coli, and Salmonella. Fresh oregano essential oil is more effective against certain antibiotic-resistant bacteria than commercial antibiotics, which means when you feel the first signs of a respiratory infection, a cup of fresh oregano tea delivers antibacterial compounds directly to the affected tissue. Oregano grows as a low, spreading perennial that tolerates drought and produces stems year-round in mild climates. Planted in well-drained soil with full sun. Use it fresh in tea 3 to 4 times per week during cold season. Herb 2 is Echinacea. This is your immune-boosting foundation. Echinacea contains alkylamides and polysaccharides that increase white blood cell activity and enhance your body's ability to destroy pathogens before they establish infection. Studies confirm that echinacea at the first sign of cold symptoms reduces illness duration by 58%. But those studies use dried extracts. Fresh echinacea root and flowers contain higher concentrations because the compounds degrade in storage. Echinacea grows 3 to 4 feet tall with purple flowers that bloom from summer into fall. It tolerates poor soil and drought, produces for 10 years or more, and attracts beneficial insects that control pests in your herb bed. Herb 3 is garlic. Garlic contains allicin, a sulfur compound released when you crush the cloves, which has broad-spectrum antimicrobial action against bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Fresh garlic is significantly more potent than aged supplements because allicin degrades rapidly, which means you want to grow your own, harvest fresh, and use immediately. Plant garlic cloves in fall for summer harvest. Each clove produces a full bulb of 8 to 12 cloves. Use raw garlic crushed into honey at the first sign of illness, or cook it lightly in meals 4 to 5 times per week. Herb 4 is ginger. This is your anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Ginger contains gingerol and shogiol, compounds that inhibit inflammatory pathways and reduce the cytokine response that makes you feel sick during infection. When you have a sore throat or congestion, ginger reduces the inflammation while promoting circulation that helps your immune system move white blood cells to infected areas. Fresh ginger is dramatically more potent than dried powder because the volatile oils evaporate during storage. Grow it from rhizomes in rich, moist soil. Harvest sections as needed. Use fresh ginger sliced thin in hot water for tea. Herb 5 is elderberry. This is your antiviral specialist, particularly effective against influenza. Elderberries contain anthocyanins and flavonoids that prevent viral particles from binding to cell receptors, which means the virus cannot enter your cells and replicate. Studies show elderberry extract reduces flu duration by 2 to 4 days. The key is taking it at the first sign of viral infection. Elderberry grows as a large shrub that produces clusters of dark purple berries in late summer. Plant 1 bush and it will produce 10 to 15 pounds annually for 20 years. Cook berries into syrup with honey for immune support during cold season. Herb 6 is lemon balm. This is your antiviral herb for daily use. Lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid and polyphenols that inhibit viruses, including herpes simplex and respiratory viruses. Beyond its antiviral properties, lemon balm reduces stress and anxiety, which is critical because chronic stress suppresses white blood cell activity and makes you more susceptible to infection. Fresh lemon balm tea consumed daily provides both antiviral protection and stress reduction. It grows as a spreading perennial that thrives in partial shade. Harvest leaves throughout the growing season for fresh tea with a mild lemon flavor. Herb 7 is rosemary. Rosemary contains rosmarinic acid, carnosic acid, and camphor, which together provide antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory action. Traditional medicine systems used rosemary to treat respiratory infections because the volatile oils open airways and kill pathogens in the respiratory tract. Rosemary grows as an evergreen perennial shrub in warm climates. It requires well-drained soil and full sun. Harvest sprigs year-round for cooking and tea. Herb 8 is calendula. Calendula flowers contain flavonoids and triterpenoids that reduce inflammation, promote tissue repair, and have antibacterial properties. Fresh calendula petals and salves speed healing and reduce scarring. Calendula also works internally as a tea to calm digestive inflammation and support lymphatic drainage. It grows as an annual that self-seeds readily, producing bright orange flowers from spring through fall. Herb 9 is peppermint. Peppermint contains menthol, which relaxes smooth muscle tissue to relieve nausea and cramping, and opens airways to ease congestion. Fresh peppermint tea works faster than dried because volatile oils dissipate during storage. It grows aggressively as a spreading perennial. Contain it in pots. Harvest leaves throughout the season for fresh tea you can drink daily. Herb 10 is yarrow. Yarrow contains compounds that promote sweating and reduce fever during viral infections, when controlled fever helps your immune system, but excessive fever becomes dangerous. Fresh yarrow tea helps your body regulate temperature naturally. It grows as a hardy perennial with fern-like leaves and clusters of white flowers. It tolerates drought and poor soil. Herb 11 is nettle. Nettle leaves contain extraordinarily high levels of vitamins A and C, iron, calcium, and protein, which support immune function by providing raw materials your body needs to produce white blood cells. Nettle also reduces histamine response. Fresh nettle loses its sting when steeped in hot water. It grows as a perennial in moist, rich soil with partial shade. Harvest young leaves in spring for peak nutrient content. Herb 12 is chamomile. Chamomile contains apigenin and flavonoids that reduce inflammation, calm nervous system activity, and promote sleep.
Quality sleep is essential because your body produces white blood cells most effectively during deep sleep phases. Chamomile tea before bed helps you sleep deeply enough for immune system repair work. It grows as a low annual that self-seeds readily. Herb 13 is plantain, the common lawn weed with broad leaves. Plantain contains allantoin and aucubin, compounds that speed wound healing and have antibacterial properties. Fresh plantain leaves applied to cuts or scrapes prevent infection. It also works as a tea for respiratory infections because it soothes inflamed mucous membranes. You don't need to plant it. It already grows in your yard. Now let's talk about making this work in your actual space. You don't need acreage. These 13 herbs grow in 20 square feet of raised bed, in containers on a patio, or integrated into your existing landscape. Most medicinal herbs prefer well-drained soil over rich conditions.
Herbs grown in moderate soil often contain higher concentrations of medicinal compounds because the plant produces defensive chemicals when slightly stressed. A perennial strategy saves money. Plant oregano, echinacea, lemon balm, rosemary, yarrow, and nettle first. These produce for 5 to 20 years. Calendula and chamomile self-seed after year 1. Garlic, ginger, and elderberry require minimal annual attention. Peppermint and plantain require zero effort. First-year investment, $50 to $75. After that, $20 per year. Harvest timing matters because medicinal compounds concentrate at different growth stages. For leaf herbs, harvest just before flowering when volatile oils peak. For flower herbs, harvest when flowers are fully open. For root herbs, harvest in fall after the plant goes dormant. Fresh use provides maximum potency, but you can preserve harvest by drying in a dark space or making tinctures by steeping fresh herbs in alcohol for 4 to 6 weeks. Here's what the numbers actually look like. The average American spends $300 to $500 annually on cold and flu medications, plus another $200 in doctor copays. That's $500 to $700 per year treating symptoms after pathogens establish. Your immune herb garden costs $50 to $75 first year. Maintenance drops to $20 annually. Over 5 years, you spend $150 total while avoiding $3,000 in medication costs. But the real value is sick days avoided. The average adult gets 2 to 4 colds per year, each lasting 7 to 10 days. That's 14 to 40 days per year feeling terrible. When you support your immune system daily with fresh plant compounds, you eliminate most of those sick days. 5 years without being sick translates to 200 potential sick days, converted into healthy, productive time. Start today. Plant the 5 herbs that provide broadest coverage. Oregano for antibacterial action, echinacea for immune boosting, garlic for broad-spectrum antimicrobial effects, ginger for anti-inflammatory support, and elderberry for antiviral protection. These 5 alone prevent the majority of common infections. Daily usage creates the prevention effect. Brew fresh herb tea each morning. Incorporate garlic, ginger, and rosemary into cooking 3 to 5 times per week. Take echinacea tincture during cold season. This isn't intensive effort. It's minutes per day that prevent hours of illness. A year from now, you're sipping fresh thyme tea, while everyone around you is getting sick, and you haven't had so much as a sniffle. You're not lucky. You designed a proactive immune system using observation-based methods that kept humans healthy for thousands of years. You don't need more medicine. You need these 13 herbs growing within reach, delivering fresh compounds daily that stop pathogens before they multiply. This is the system. Plant it, use it, and stop being sick.